there are levels of government that look at this
States.
type of stuff. So again, I'm very excited to have this proposition coming across the street from us, and I wish them all the success in the world. And I appreciate the board's efforts in looking at this for the concerns of all of our town. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Please.
Janet Manco, 1745 Athena Drive, Royal Springs, in Avon. I've been to just about every meeting since October of last year, and I just want to state that this binder, my folders, my bag, filled with information, not with data and facts, and not with just I thinks and probablys and maybes. So any information, it's been difficult to disseminate to the public. We've stayed factual with what's been said, with what on the record, with what we viewed. That's why we videotape, not to catch all of anything. And so I just wanted to be on the record as saying I oppose this site plan very much so, in that not just the changes, it is the changes, but it's also the holes in this site plan, the holes in this project, and that there will be disturbances and nuisances. I went to the town offices today to get the secret review, which should be on display. And all I was able to receive, from talking to two clerks today, was a shrink map of your March 30th update of the plan, and this small packet of information that was the entire secret review that I had. And
Janet,
that's all I got. That's all I
Janet,
got.
you did not ask me for the entire secret. You asked me for the responses from the other agencies. You didn't ask me for the secret. You didn't ask me for that. We would have been glad to give you that. You did not ask me for that.
The language here is I wanted to know the secret, what the responses from the different agencies. And it's sketchy. The DOT sent one that said, oh, we find no problems, but there was nothing attached to it. I do have something from the DEC was a 2-page.
You have
And
that
we talked
6th of
about-
April letter? You have that?
What's that?
The 6th of April letter, 2015?
Is this the DEC?
The
Yes, I
April
have
6th.
this, I'm gonna look at it right
Okay.
now, and we're talking about raw materials, by the way. The DEC defines the raw materials, by the way. We had this silly discussion the other night. As such future storage of such raw materials, for example, binders, stone, concrete, etc. The DEC sees this as raw materials. Whatever definition you wanna give, this is what they're stipulating. My point is that there wasn't a lot here. I did get some. There were some agencies that didn't report, and I'm just wondering, and this is just me, how a plan like this can be approved without much substance. There was some narrative, there wasn't a lot of discussion in the information that I received. When you get an agency responds, I would think they have to have a rationale for why it's a negative impact on the environment. Why wouldn't it be a negative impact on the environment? Why it would be okay? Water, Avon Water, again, nothing much. Livingston County sewer and water. How can a site plan be approved on so little response? And so much that we see here as, in terms of the hours of operation, from the very beginning, it was said Monday through Saturday, possibly retail on Sunday. That was very early on in the project. It was now stipulated Monday through Saturday, with Saturday being at least 6 hours for production and for office work. Originally, it was going to be sales. On your site map that I saw, there's still customer parking. I thought this was going to be wholesale. They took retail out March 12th, 2015 at the Livingston County Planning Board meeting by word of mouth. The map hadn't even been changed yet. And that was in secret. And that change had been made when the engineer said, please don't make any changes until this has gone through secret. And I said, does that mean the new application has to start? Well, we don't know. This is what I'm talking about in terms of holes in this project. Not that it's not a worthy business, but the entire project. What would have been helpful, we didn't know much about it. We wanted a community forum. Back last fall, we asked our town board, let the people know what this is about. We're gonna have a public hearing, and we don't even know what we're talking about. We're trying to get information. We have to FOIL, we have to search, we have to research. Why? And we were told, no, that's not how we do things. That would have been helpful for people such as tonight, who had questions. So my point here is that we're not spreading misinformation. It's like we're one big group. We're not. We're a diverse population with concerns.
You have
I'm
20
not,
seconds.
okay, thank you. I'm not an activist. I've lived in various parts of New York State and Connecticut. I've seen industry, nothing wrong with industry, right industry at the right place, and do it the right way. And talk about transparency, be transparent with the public, and let us know what's going on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Jim Sager, 5680 East Avon Lima Road, right next to Myers Farm Market, Dave. I have been hearing a lot about this, and I've unfortunately not had a lot of chance to do all of the research on it. The point I would like to question is, one, you're talking about independent truckers bringing the materials in? Yes?
This is not a question to answer.
No, my point is this. If you're talking independent truckers, believe me, there is no control you're gonna put on them. I can guarantee that. I've been an independent trucker, working within the constraints of the industries that I used to go to. And believe me, we all found loopholes around it. So we were parked outside, and it didn't matter if it was residential or whatever. Next point, independent truckers. They're gonna run overweight. They're gonna run fast. And they're gonna make as many trips in a day as they possibly can. What is the control that's gonna be on that? I wanna make sure that these things are looked at. Overweight. In front of my house, there is two slabs meeting. They've had to fix it once. This last winter, with the frost and the cold, it started heaving again. So when certain big trucks went over it, my whole house shakes. Literally shakes. Thump. And every set of wheels that goes over it shakes the house. Now, just points that I'm not against this business. I want to make sure that everybody understands you're smoking pipe, whatever is in it, if you think you're going to control independent truckers. Unless you mandate that they cannot at all even be there before 7:30 in the morning, that they cannot run overload, which they will. Everybody will try. Unless the DEC parks one of their traffic controls or state troopers with their truck weight scales, the portables, and checks those for a long time, I can guarantee you you're going to have trucks overloaded running down a road that probably was not designed to handle that much weight of traffic. And that doesn't include the number of bus stops that occur during the day, all day, starting at 6 in the morning with the Avon School. Their buses are constantly there. I hear trucks jake braking because they're going too damn fast, and there's a school bus, and by God, they gotta stop. Jake braking. Have you got an allowance for that to take care of? Make sure that they don't jake brake, because the whole damn area has to know it. And if they come in at 3 o'clock in the morning, who's to say if they're gonna be jake braking to stop because they were coming in over that stupid bridge at 50 miles an hour? Just points to consider. That's all I'm talking about. Thank you.
Okay. Judy Felsway, 1739 Athena Drive. I'm just going to give you points, and then I'll turn this in. I would like this part of the record. First thing is I'm going to present some new information tonight that I don't think the board has had, because I didn't know about it either. Mr. Valle proposes to bring quarry aggregates in from St. Lawrence County, as we learned a couple meetings ago. I'm going to be talking about that. I also did some math. 15 trucks per day, each carrying about 25 tons. 20 tons in a regular dump truck to 24 tons. These are larger trucks. I'm just drawing 25 tons. That comes into 375 tons of aggregates per day. Broken concrete through our township with particulate matter escaping into the air, which is what I'm going to be talking about. At a rate of 375 tons per day times 5 days per week, this town will be experiencing a rate of 1,875 tons of aggregates, broken concrete, will be brought through our township with particulate matter escaping into the air. Can't not be. It's not Mr. Valle's responsibility. Each of the quarry rocks that will be coming down or into our town has an MSDS sheet attached because there's a health effect related and that's been identified. This warning from OSHA is to protect the workers. I don't get that warning. Only Avon's land use law will protect me. It's reasonable to say that the same amount of tonnage will be leaving our area and even precast concrete as aggregate matter. I will just show you that on here, these are the rocks types that come from New York State, from the DEC. I have MSD sheets on every one of them. I printed out MSD sheets for granite and sandstone because it came from Graymont. It's a operating quarry right near where the old abandoned quarry is in Star Lake, New York, that was spoken about. Avon Tech Center did a response letter about changes in this area. It will not have any effect on the neighborhood. He talked about it will not be noxious, offensive, injurious. I think maybe inside he's taking care of that. It's the outside that I deal with. That's my environment. And my environment will never be inside that factory. The proposed use will not create public hazards or dangers. I'm responding to that. We're responding. It's in here. No conditions, restrictions, or safeguards are necessary to protect property values. That's his opinion. I don't think it's ours. It's in general conformance with the comprehensive plan. It absolutely is not. Back then, the idea area that was identified was the area north of 5 and 20 and east of Route 15. At that time, my housing development wasn't there. It was open to anything, but it was always north of 5 and 20 and east of 5 and 20, which happens to be where the site has been developed right now. I reiterate what Jan said in here. The identification for raw materials is actually in the DEC secret letter addressed to you, Bob. I have it included in here somewhere. I've also looked at the applicant's reasoning for why it fits in with our plan as a special use, and they refer to it as being related to number 7, which is chemical. The chemical, they also state, is what's in the binder. If that's the truth, then is this product being produced actually the chemical to make cement? If it is, it's prohibited. Or is this actual product precast concrete? And if it is, then I think there needs to be a better look and association with what's in our code. I looked at chemical manufacturing. I looked at manufacturing in general. I looked at anything having to do with cement in there, and I can't find anything in chemical manufacturing that has anything to do with your binder, except in the quarrying, which goes with the change in the rock, the benefication, or whatever that word is. I can find it in there. Can't find it anywhere else. So I'm going to say that I don't think that you're making chemicals. I don't think that's your intention. Okay, and I'm going to submit this, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can you see this?
Chuck Morgan, I live at 224 River Street, west side of the town, so obviously I don't live near it. This whole process, I've been to most of the meetings. If not, I've viewed a couple that were on the YouTube. I've read all the minutes, town board meetings where other comments are met. This process has worked exactly the way it's supposed to. This town adopted years and years ago all of the major land use tools, many of the smaller ones. It's worked as it's supposed to with somebody that comes in and proposes a project. Changes have been made, big changes. Because of the questions and the comments that came from this board, Mr. Valle actually, what he did, because of this board's process, ends up with a much more efficient and effective process. the all-important state environmental quality review process that this board went through is purely substantive. It explicitly, in the secret law, explicitly disallows speculation. So your basis of that review was all based on documented facts that were given to you. All these agencies, US EPA, New York State DEC, DOT, everybody came back, nobody has a problem with it. What I don't know that the people that live there understand how extensive this secret process is. I've been involved in probably 60 of them over my career. Some of them in front of the Adirondack Park Agency, which actually supersedes jurisdiction from the DEC for the Adirondack Park. It's one of the most prescriptive land use agencies in the country. It's a very intense process. It covers all of the stuff that has been talked about, the nuisances, the noise, the dust, the lights, archaeological, sensitive environmental areas, wetlands, everything. There was not one single environmental significant finding from that secret. The board followed up with a recommendation. So, all in all, I applaud the process. It really shows what can happen when a town really does extend to the maximum of what they're allowed from the state to do. And they split it up. It's not just one group of people. There's different people that are looking at this. So, obviously, I support this project. I support it 100%. Some of the comments that were made tonight, I see this project as potentially a catalyst for that area of town. People have already talked about, that whole corner could be cleaned up. These types of businesses that come in, you might not think of this business as it's now proposed as being high-tech because it's concrete and stone and making pavers and stuff, call it advanced technology, whatever, but it really is. When those types of companies are located somewhere, research and development companies, other ones often follow. So again, I'm in support of this project. And the last thing I'd like to say is, I know it's now over in the Zoning Board of Appeals hands as far as the interpretation of the codes, but obviously this board also had to consider the zoning codes. And my whole feeling is, we've been down this path of what's raw material and what's not. Raw material is an everyday word. Everybody uses it. You can go and find meanings all over the place. In fact, what I would worry about most is if the zoning board did intend or did in fact rule that this company was using raw material, and it was, I wonder what this town would do with all the other businesses in this town that are using raw materials. I can name 10 right off the top of my head. You can't shut them down, but you're certainly going to prohibit them from coming.
Thank you.
Mike Carroll uses clay, raw material.
Thank you.
May I? Harry Bailey,
Sure.
Lakeville Road?
Sure.
Am I to, and this is a question, I'm sorry. Am I to understand that nobody has seen this process?
We're not gonna accept questions,
Okay.
but you can kind of state that question, and it'll
Okay.
be something this board will take into consideration.
Thank you. No one has seen this operation before because there isn't another one like it, we've been told. So all the things we are hearing, it's like, we kind of hope this works.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. We'll take that into consideration. Anything else?
My name's Mike Manko, 1745 Athena Drive. I'd like to point out, it's come to our attention that there are some concerns from people who know about the following. There's a drainage ditch behind the plaza, actually. I work at Myers Homestead Farm Market. I have for the past 6 years, so I've spoken with Tom Meyer on this. And he said that there is an area behind the plaza that has been a problem for some time. Something should be done about it before allowing an industry with heavy trucks and products to stress the land and drainage more than it is now. He said that water flowed south behind the plaza and floods homeowners' backyards. He actually saw